Hello, I am Mac for a day. I am not, I do not have that name normally, but every now and then I get to be Mac for a day. I apologize for the poor quality of this video. It would be better if I did live stream, but it's harder to get it to work with my PlayStation, so I'm just doing a video clip, a very long video clip. So today I'm going to be demonstrating how to wander on a planet in No Man's Sky without worrying about how far you're getting from your ship. Reason I'm doing this is because people often complain that, oh, you land on a planet and you're basically tethered to your ship because the farther you get from your ship, the farther you're going to have to walk to get back to your ship. But that's actually a misnomer. There's a really easy way to call your ship to you and reliably do so. And so you can get as far as you want from your ship and still be able to call your ship from somewhere else. I'm going to show you. First you got to make out of iron. So I got to get some iron real quick. Here we go. Okay, so I'm at my ship. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a signal booster. And I'm going to choose Colonial Outpost. It's going to reveal a colonial outpost to me, either an operations center or a manufacturing facility. And there it is. It's a 25-minute walk away, which is good because I enjoy wandering a long distance over a planet. So all operations centers and manufacturing facilities have a device that you can call your ship with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wander across this planet, enjoying the scenery and collecting resources, and when I get to the operations center, I'll be able to call my ship to me. I don't have to backtrack and get back to my ship. So at this point, since I just revealed the secret to you, if you want to either stop watching now, or you can fast forward to the end of the video and watch me do what I just explained. That's up to you. Or you can come with me as I enjoy this beautiful planet. Have a little adventure. It's up to you. So yeah, this is how I like to play No Man's Sky. I realized a while back, well, by the way, I've been playing about 5 months now. Almost. I started in August, after the game had already come out, like a few weeks after the game had come out. And, oh, I got a predator I gotta deal with. So I realized a while back that it's a mistake to fly from location to location in your ship. That's like really boring, I discovered. More boring than this way. Because that's what some people do. They'll get in their ship, they'll fly around, search for locations, they'll stop a location, discover a location, and that kind of ruins the way I think the game was meant to be played. The way I think the game that was meant to be played is wandering across the planet, finding resources, discovering the plants and animals and everything. And of course, like I said, people think that that's not possible. They think if you wander around the planet, go really far, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're gonna have to backtrack all that way. It's like, oh, I have to walk another 30 minutes to get back to my ship the same way that I came. I already collected all the resources along that path, and that's pretty boring. Having to backtrack, but like I said, you don't have to do that. This way, they gave you a signal booster made it so that you can, there's a lot of predators on this planet. They made it so you can build a signal booster and search for operations center or a manufacturing facility whenever you want. So that you're always able to search for a building where there is a device to call your ship. A lot of players don't realize that, and so they make the mistake of always staying close to their ship, not really getting out and enjoying the planet because they think that they're tethered to their ship when they're really not. That's why I'm making this video, to try and raise a little more awareness of how you can play the game in a much more enjoyable way. So we are on a planet called the Final Step. I did not name the planet. This is actually at the center of Euclid Galaxy, where there are lots of planets and stars that have been discovered by other players. The star system was discovered by Judicium-22, and so was this planet, the Final Step, which he named it that. I believe he discovered this star system and planet. Let's see, does it have the date on here? It doesn't say when he discovered it, but when I enter the star system it does, and I believe he discovered it right at the beginning of September. So soon after the game came out in August, he went to the center, discovered this star and this planet. And of course it is now, at the time I'm recording this video, January, end of January of 2017. So it's been a long time since Judicium found this planet. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm basically discovering the history of the No Man's Sky universe. Not like the game history, not the lore, but like the actual real-life history of players that have explored stars and planets in this game, discovered things, named things, and then I, months later, discovered the same thing at Euclid Center that he discovered. Which is, of course, people will get mad when I say this, but that is the multiplayer of No Man's Sky, which Sean Murray hinted at. Everybody got really mad because it wasn't the multiplayer they imagined. And of course, it's not really a traditional type of multiplayer. Normally when you think of multiplayer, you're playing at the same time as another person and doing things with them, but it is, in a sense, a type of multiplayer because other players have done things in the game that you can then go and see what they named. It's not quite like Minecraft where people can create a place and you can go to that place. That's kind of more of an in-depth sort of multiplayer like No Man's Sky has. In No Man's Sky, you just get to name stuff. And people can then discover them. Yeah, I believe I named this creature a fox armadillo. It's one of the predators on this planet. Judicium did not name all the animals, so I got to name this one. It's a fox armadillo, because that's what it looks like. Fox with a shell on its back. I think I named just about all the other creatures. I named that a spike antelope. So it's kind of cool because now this planet is kind of a mishmash of Judicium and myself. He named the star and the planet, and I named the creatures. So someday someone else will come and they'll say, one guy named the planet, another guy named the creatures. That's interesting. I haven't been collecting any resources because I'm busy talking. But what I'm doing right now, as far as gameplay goes, is I am refueling my freighter. As you can see, I have about half filled my freighter with warp cells, and I've got a bunch of Thamium-9 to convert into warp cells as soon as I get the other materials for it. What I did was I got a max-size freighter, as you saw, and I filled it with warp fuel, and I used that warp fuel to get to Euclid Center. It took almost all the warp fuel in the freighter, but there was only like 5 or 6 stacks of warp fuel left. But I thought that was pretty cool. I was kind of testing to see if all of the fuel in a max-sized freighter would get you to a galaxy, and it pretty much did. I was 150,000 light years from the center when I fueled up my freighter, and the fuel took me all the way to the center. So, and I had some left over. So I would think, usually you start out 170,000 light years from the center. I would think that all the fuel in a max-sized freighter would get you all the way from the beginning to the end of a galaxy. If you did it that way, if you used all of the fuel in your freighter. So, I think they may have even designed it that way. They made the freighter big enough and able to stack warp fuel up to 10, so that if you want, that can be a style of gameplay. You fuel up your entire freighter, and then you do a whole bunch of warps to get all the way to the center of the galaxy, which I guess I'm going to do. Once I fill up my freighter again, I will take the plunge into Euclid Center and then be in Hilbert Dimension, the next galaxy, and I can use all the fuel in my freighter to go to the center of that galaxy. And then I'll basically get to explore a bunch of planets at the center of Hilbert Dimension and discover stuff there while I'm refueling my freighter again. So I basically won't be exploring any planets in a galaxy except the ones at the center of the galaxy. And of course that increases the likelihood that someone will see those discoveries, because, you know, people go to the center of the galaxy and they find all the stuff that I've discovered. So seems like a cool way to play the game, in my opinion. And that was the intention, that you would name stuff and people would find it. But people don't usually find your discoveries just anywhere in the galaxies. Galaxies are so big that you can't, you know, effectively find people's discoveries just out there in the middle of the galaxy. It's just too unlikely to come across discoveries most of the time. But the center of the galaxy is more condensed, and you're much more likely to find other people's discoveries. So I think that's the mistake that people haven't realized. Not mistake, but it's just what people haven't realized is what's special about the center of the galaxy. There was nothing at the center of the galaxy when they made the game, but there is now. Players make what is at the center of the galaxy. They name the stars and planets, and basically create the place that is the center of the galaxy. So people complain there's nothing at the center of the galaxy, but now there is. There's lots of stars and planets at the center. So there you are then. We're still 15 minutes out from the operations center. I'm going to try to go a little bit faster, though I still want to collect materials for the warp fuel. See if I can find some of the creatures that I gave rather interesting names to along the way. Oh, and I got to remember to stock up on carbon. That's the thing I'm lacking right now, is carbon. Of course, carbon's everywhere, but I don't want to fill up on it until I'm ready to leave the planet. Here comes another predator. And let me go ahead and show you how I collect carbon. I discovered this little trick, excuse me, that keeps the sentinels from attacking you. They actually never attack you when you use grenades, as long as you don't hit them with the grenades. And so far, no sentinels have showed up, so that's good. But they will come and, like, freak out that I'm destroying trees, but they will not attack me if I destroy the trees just with grenades. If I destroy the grenades with mining laser or bolt caster, they will attack me. But they will not, oh, here they come. They will not attack me if I'm destroying, see, now that Sentinel's scanning me, he's like, what are you doing? Why are you destroying things? But if I destroy them with grenades, they never attack me for some reason. I don't know if that's a glitch, or something they made on purpose so that you wouldn't have to be attacked by Sentinels. See, it's scanning me right now. As long as I don't accidentally hit the Sentinel, it will not attack me for using grenades. It's interesting. I think it's probably a mistake, but hey, it's an easy way to gather carbon and iron and not be attacked by sentinels. Of course, I need this carbon to make suspension fluid, which is the first ingredient to making warp fuel. But of course that trick only works with iron and carbon. You can't mine anything else with grenades. If you try to mine iridium or plutonium crystals with grenades, it just annihilates the material and you don't get anything from it. It just, the material that you mine just disappears and you don't get anything. But it works with iron, rocks, getting iron from rocks, and carbon from plants. You can blow them up with your grenade and you get all of the carbon and all the iron. Probably going to end up just throwing this treasure away. Money doesn't mean as much to me now that I have a max-size freighter, but still got to click on it just for fun. I don't need much thamium. As you saw, I already collected a whole bunch of thamium. And how I did that was I went to an empty planet. And that might be a future video I'm going to do. I'm going to show everybody just how easy it is to collect thamium. A lot of people complain that, oh, thamium's so hard to get now and everything, but it's actually not. There's several very easy ways to get it. I've heard one way, of course, gathering them on a planet like this is not an easy way. Planets with life on them don't have as much thamium flowers. Used to be the way to collect it was to destroy asteroids, but they nerfed that so that asteroids mostly have iron in them and only a little bit of thamium. That was the easiest way back in the day, was just destroy a bunch of asteroids and get all the thamium you need, but no longer. But another way, which I haven't tried, that people have said, is you can destroy containers on freighters in space, which have a whole bunch of thamium in it, and you can collect it that way. Of course, that is the criminal way, and doing so will cause sentinel ships to attack you, and you know, that's never fun because basically you can never beat them. They'll just keep coming and you have to run away if you want to not die. But you can duck into a space station or fly down to a planet, which is hard if you're not close to it because being in combat in space slows you down. But the really easy way, which I'll probably do a video about, is you go to an empty planet. Empty planets, they changed a few things about empty planets in the Foundation update. Empty planets used to have buildings on them, but everyone was always like, why would aliens settle on a planet that has no life whatsoever? That makes no sense. And so Hello Games gave in to that complaint and took all of the buildings out of empty planets. So now there's no buildings on empty planets. And there's also no resources except thamium and plutonium. And the reason for that is, another thing they changed the Foundation update is the only raw element that can recharge your life support system, I'll show you right here, is thamium or power canisters. And of course you can't find power canisters laying around on empty planets anymore because they don't have any boxes. There are no artificially made constructs on empty planets anymore. So if you can't get power canisters, then the only way to recharge your life support on an empty planet is with thamium. So they had to put a whole bunch of thamium on empty planets so that you wouldn't get stuck there and have no way of recharging your life support. So on empty planets there are tons of thamium flowers, which I don't know if they intended it to now be an easy way to collect thamium, but effectively that's what it is. Oh, here comes another rare creature, giant. I named it a gargantuan beaver because it has a beaver tail and it's really big. Here's some smaller ones. What did I name them? Clever beaver. Clever beaver and gargantuan beaver. So what was I saying? Oh yes. So empty planets are the best place to get thamium now. And they're also pretty good for plutonium, though I suspect they basically have about the same plutonium as any planet. Oh, and here's Jackalope Ewok, which I named that. It looks like an Ewok, except it has antlers, so I named it Jackalope Ewok. see. Guess I better hurry. This video is getting kind of long. 9 more minutes to go. Let's see what I named this. Cerberus Lesser. I think I named one of the predators Cerberus Greater, along with the fox armadillo, which are technically the same species, but they don't look much alike. Let's see, do I need any platinum? A little bit. Platinum's not too useful anymore. Well, actually, it's more useful than it used to be because it is used to make shielding shards now. But it's still not used as an ingredient warp fuel, since that's the only thing I really care about. I only keep 1 stack of 250 platinum. For, you know, making shielding shards. Only other thing platinum is used for is in certain upgrades. So, upgrades and shielding shards, that's all it's used for. Most of the other common elements are used for making warp fuel, as you know if you play No Man's Sky. It's kind of funny that they made it so that iron recharges your pulse drive now. See, here's a Cerberus Greater, which I named. Another predator. So iron recharges the pulse drive now. So you're using iron to charge the warp drive. Well, it's not your warp drive, it's your pulse drive, which makes you go basically just under the speed of light, I think. Something like that. And so I guess basically it uses iron and does nuclear fusion or nuclear fission on the iron to unlock the energy from it. I guess that's a way that you could explain it. It reminds me of Back to the Future, where Dr. Emmett Brown, either the end of the first Back to the Future movie or the beginning of the second, he says, "I need fuel," and then he gets a banana and a can of beer and puts them into his Mr. Fusion in his time machine to power the time machine. It's basically like that. If you're putting iron into your, fusion engine or whatever, it's like, I need fuel, and you put some iron in there. Somehow you're going to unlock energy out of iron. It used to be powered by Thamium-9, of course, but like I said, they changed that. I think because they didn't want Thamium-9 to be so common. So they just made it so asteroids are mostly iron now. And of course, asteroids have to have whatever powers your pulse engine, otherwise you'd get stranded out there. Which I think it was a pretty good move to do it that way. I always thought it was kind of dumb. It's like, every asteroid is composed of Thamium-9. It's the most common element in the universe, and yet it's a super useful nuclear element. Didn't make much sense. Makes a lot more sense that asteroids would be made of iron. So, at least for immersion reasons, being more realistic, that works. Sorry for the sound in the background. My roommate is using a blender. So let's speed this up a little bit. We're 5 minutes out from the operations center. I'll stop being OCD and collecting everything along the way. I'll just hurry this along a bit and get to the operations center. But yeah, this is how I really enjoy it, playing No Man's Sky, because wandering on a planet really is the only way to find the really neat stuff. It's the best way to find all the creatures, which you get money and achievements for. And also, let's see, did I name this thing? Probably not. Oh wow, I never even scanned this thing. Let's name it something interesting. Call it the evil one. Everyone hates these things because they always whack you as you go past. Another thing, they changed the Foundation update for whatever reason. They put a ton of those annoying whip vines everywhere. What was I saying? Oh yes, wandering on a planet like this is the best way to find, like, good screenshot opportunities, find that rare, strange looking thing, which is really what No Man's Sky is all about. It's about wandering around trying to find unique and interesting things. And people don't get that. They think that, oh, a game has to have objectives and a game has to have, you know, a reason to keep playing. And No Man's Sky has some reasons, but the real purpose is just to wander around and find stuff. And people find that boring because they couldn't make it so that you find interesting stuff all the time. It has to be a long-term endeavor to, you know, keep searching until you finally find that one really interesting thing, like a giant Diplo, as people call them, the brontosaurus-looking kind of creature, which is super rare, or something else like that, crazy jelly creature, or mushroom creature, or plant creature that hops around, or you know, there's lots of creatures that are fairly rare that you can search for. There's also monolithic portals, which have no purpose still, even though they did in a trailer before the game came out, but they're still there. They're extremely rare as well. I found 3 before Foundation, and I've heard that they still exist even after Foundation, but I have not been able to find one after the Foundation update, which I really want to, and just so that I can say that I found one again after Foundation. They still have no purpose, like I said. You can't interact with them or do anything with them. You can't travel somewhere in them. There's another Cerberus Greater terrorizing the populace. But I would like to find a monolithic portal again, especially since they added beacons. You can build a beacon, and it will let you go back to a place. It'll be a location on your compass that you can find again. So I want to put a beacon on a portal. I don't know if another player comes to a system you've been to, if that beacon you built will be there, but that would be nice to mark a monolithic portal and, you know, let other people find it if they're able to see the beacon and everything. But regardless, I'm still going to put a beacon at a monolithic portal just in case. So here we are at the Operations Center. I will now demonstrate how to get your ship back. As you can see, I am now 24 minutes away from my ship. Oh no, I have to walk all that way back to my ship. That's going to take forever and it'll be super boring. Nope, because right here we have this device. And all you have to do is build a bypass chip. And use the device, and your ship magically appears. And so now you can get in your ship and leave the planet. And you don't have to walk back to your ship. And so anytime you're wandering on a planet, you're far from your ship, you can just use a signal booster, search for an operations center or manufacturing facility, go to it, and call your ship. So that is how you call your ship to you when you're wandering on a planet. Thank you for watching. I'm Mac for a day, and I'm going to use reverse psychology and say don't like, share, or subscribe to this video. See if you don't now, and I'll catch y'all later.